How to Train Aggressive Dogs. Subtitle: A compassionate guide to transforming aggressive behavior in dogs. Training aggressive dogs may be both tough and rewarding. Dog aggression is frequently the result of fear, anxiety, or previous traumatic events, necessitating a caring and smart approach. Rather than using forceful approaches which might compound the problem, modern dog training stresses patience, positive reward, and identifying the underlying causes of aggression. Successful training necessitates identifying the particular triggers that lead a dog to become violent. Whether it's other dogs, unknown people, or specific situations, understanding these triggers is the first step in creating an effective training plan. Building trust via continuous good encounters helps to alleviate fear and anxiety, which are major underlying causes of violent conduct. Gradual desensitization and counter-conditioning can be used to convert the dog's negative associations with these triggers to positive ones. Furthermore, it is critical to safeguard the safety of both the dog and the trainer throughout the training process. This could include employing muzzles or training in controlled situations to avoid incidents while the dog is still learning to control its reactions. By emphasizing empathy, patience, and tried and true behavior modification strategies, even the most aggressive dogs may learn to respond calmly and constructively to their surroundings, paving the way for better and more harmonious relationships with their humans. Here's a more in-depth look at the process and concept behind resolving major dog behavior issues without using force, as proven by Magnolia's narrative and Wolfmother Canine Rescue Services. Understanding the challenge, Magnolia, a stray dog, ended up at an animal shelter where her behavior presented serious issues. The shelter personnel reported significant levels of aggressiveness, making ordinary care such as feeding dangerous. This behavior resulted from her fear and anxiety, which were worsened by her prolonged confinement in her kennel. High-energy and high-drive dogs, such as Magnolia, are particularly vulnerable to the negative consequences of such confinement, which can result in a loop of worsening behavior caused by stress and a lack of stimulation. The shelter setting, while intended to provide safety, frequently fails to address the complex emotional and physical demands of such dogs, aggravating their behavior. Understanding these issues is critical for establishing effective techniques to rehabilitate aggressive dogs and increase their chances of being adopted into loving homes. Approach of Wolfmother Canine Rescue Services. Sarah co-founded Wolfmother Canine Rescue Services, which specializes in rehabilitating behaviorally challenged and euthanasia-listed canines. Their method is based on identifying the main causes of behavioral disorders and correcting them using positive reinforcement, empathy, and patience. This concept opposes the use of force or dominance-based tactics, which can frequently aggravate fear and aggression. Initial assessment and strategy. When Sarah first saw Magnolia, she noticed the same hostile reactions as the shelter staff. Sarah's strategy, however, was fundamentally different from usual methods. Her goal was to help Magnolia develop positive connections while progressively lessening her fear and anxiety. This strategy begins with non-threatening, calm conversations, avoiding any activities that could elicit Magnolia's aggressive responses. Sarah focused on creating trust rather than imposing obedience by using gentle, persistent, and positive reinforcement. She used treats, soothing tones, and patient handling to make Magnolia feel safe and secure. This method enabled Magnolia to begin to identify Sarah's presence with positive experiences, establishing the groundwork for more advanced behavior modification strategies. Sarah hoped that by addressing the core causes of Magnolia's violent behavior, she would be able to change her into a more calm, adoptable dog. Building trust and positive associations. The first phase concentrated on establishing trust. Sarah approached Magnolia cautiously, offering snacks and speaking quietly. These measures sought to establish a positive link between Sarah's presence and happy experiences for Magnolia. These conversations gradually helped Magnolia relax and see Sarah as a source of comfort and optimism rather than a threat. Magnolia hadn't been out of her kennel in weeks, which would be extremely distressing for any dog, particularly one with high energy levels. Recognizing the physical and psychological toll of Magnolia's imprisonment, Sarah prioritized her release from the kennel as soon as possible. Sarah encouraged Magnolia to look forward to her outings by linking them with good experiences such as receiving gifts and affection. Expanding the social circle, Magnolia began to trust Sarah and lessened her hostility, so the next stage was to broaden her social connections to include other staff and volunteers. The slow expansion was critical. It was meticulously planned to ensure that each new interaction was positive, boosting Magnolia's confidence and lowering her overall anxiety. Each successful connection with a new individual helped Magnolia generalize her positive experiences, showing her that humans in general should not be afraid. Monitoring and adjusting the approach. Throughout the process, Sarah and her team kept a close eye on Magnolia's behavior for symptoms of stress or regression. They were prepared to change their approach as needed, knowing that flexibility is essential when dealing with behaviorally challenging canines. Each dog is unique and may react differently to different treatments, thus it is critical to personalize rehabilitation plans to individual requirements. The researchers modified their procedures depending on Magnolia's progress to ensure that interventions were both successful and humane. This adaptive technique enabled them to handle any emergent concerns quickly and maintain a consistent route toward Magnolia's recovery. Sarah and her team increased Magnolia's chances of a successful transformation by remaining receptive to her reactions and progress, resulting in a more confident and adaptable dog. The transformation, Magnolia's makeover, was quite astounding. She transformed from an angry dog that couldn't be handled properly into a social, affectionate pet. The key to this transition was a persistent, compassionate approach rather than drastic, forced alterations. Sarah and her team increased Magnolia's trust by engaging in a series of modest, positive exchanges. Magnolia's sense of security was reinforced by each kind contact, whether it was with goodies, calming words, or patient care. She gradually learned to correlate human interaction with positive experiences, resulting in major behavioral improvements. Magnolia's transformation from a terrified, aggressive dog to a confident, loving friend was the result of these compassionate and painstaking efforts. This extraordinary transformation demonstrates the power of empathy and patience in rehabilitating behaviorally challenged canines, indicating that with the appropriate approach, even the most challenging situations may yield deep and long-lasting results. Adoption and new beginnings. Magnolia's remarkable rehabilitation resulted in her getting a forever home. Andrew and Evelyn, who traveled over 800 miles to adopt Magnolia, have provided her with a caring home in which she continues to thrive. Magnolia now lives in Los Angeles with 2 other canines and leads a wonderful life. Her tale demonstrates the potential for transformation in even the most difficult canines when treated with patience, empathy, and positive reinforcement. It demonstrates the power of a second chance and the value of humane treatment in animal rescue. Magnolia's story emphasizes the significance of identifying and addressing the underlying causes of behavioral disorders. Broader implications. Magnolia's successful recuperation has larger implications for dog training and behavior change. It contradicts standard dominance-based teaching approaches and demonstrates the power of positive reward, empathy, and patience. This method is gaining popularity globally as more trainers and behaviorists see the long-term benefits of instilling trust and lowering fear in dogs. Sarah's work with Wolfmother Canine Rescue Services illustrates that treating the underlying causes of behavioral difficulties, such as fear and anxiety, rather than just the symptoms, results in more lasting and dramatic changes. This strategy not only changes the dog's behavior, but it also improves their quality of life and boosts their prospects of adoption into loving homes. Conclusion. Magnolia's transformation from a terrified, angry stray to a cherished pet demonstrates the power of kindness and patience in changing dog behavior. Wolfmother Canine Rescue Services work is an amazing example of how to deal with even the most serious behavioral difficulties without using force. Even dogs with serious behavioral issues can be rehabilitated and placed in a loving home by using constant positive reinforcement, compassion, and empathy. This story is a poignant reminder that kindness can change not only individual dogs, but the entire world of animal rescue and rehabilitation. In conclusion, training aggressive dogs requires patience, empathy, and a deep understanding of each dog's unique needs and triggers. By focusing on positive reinforcement and avoiding punitive methods, trainers can help aggressive dogs overcome their fears and learn new, appropriate behaviors. This approach not only addresses the symptoms of aggression, but also tackles the root causes, such as fear and anxiety. Successful rehabilitation of aggressive dogs often involves a gradual process of building trust and creating positive associations with triggers that previously elicited aggressive responses. This may include using treats, toys, and calm interactions to help the dog feel safe and comfortable in challenging situations. It's important to emphasize that every dog is different, and what works for one may not work for another. Therefore, trainers must be adaptable and willing to adjust their methods based on the dog's progress and responses. Consistency and patience are key elements in achieving long-lasting behavior change. Ultimately, the goal of training aggressive dogs is to provide them with the skills and confidence they need to interact safely and positively with people and other animals. With dedication and the right approach, even the most challenging cases of aggression can be successfully managed, offering these dogs a chance for a happy and fulfilling life in a loving home. Let us know in the comments what you think about the How to Train Aggressive Dogs. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.